Arsenal 2, Olympiacos 0 then is how it finishes. This is welcoming Gab Marcotti. Gab, you were keeping an eye on this one for us?
I was, and I can tell you, you know how Arteta loves talking, like a whole bunch of managers actually loves talking about control and controlling the game. And remember, he told us how much they controlled the game against Man City when they were losing 1-0 at home. He wouldn't have liked, I think, what he saw in the second half because it turned into a very wide open game. As we saw Arsenal, plenty of chances in the first half. Olympiacos came back. They were dangerous. We saw those Raya saves. And, you know, I think Arteta decided to rotate, play some second stringers, or maybe I'm being unkind here, but make some changes from the lineup to which we're accustomed. Obviously, we saw Ben White, Lewis Skelly, who I thought did okay. We saw Moreno midfield. You had Rice, you had Saka on the bench, you had Timber on the bench. And what happens? All those guys come on in the second half because you could tell he was extremely grumpy until Saka scored that second goal in injury time.
And we saw Gyökeres, of course, play a key part in the opening goal. Gab, how was his performance?
Thought it was good in the first half against Olympiacos. Tailed off a little bit. Look, I think this is one of those games where had Arsenal taken their chances in the first half hour, and then they're 2-3 goals up, and then the second half doesn't unfold the way it did. It was very clear what Mendilibar was trying to do with Olympiacos. He's obviously a savvy coach, a Europa League winner. Soak up the pressure, weather the storm, and then hit them. And they have some very gifted players, technically gifted anyway. And obviously Daniel Podence, who we saw, Joshua Martins as well, Chiquinho. And it really felt like Arsenal lost their bearings early in the second half. And hey, it helps when you can bring the likes of Rice and Saka off the bench. But I think this underscores how it's great to have so many options, such a deep squad. But when you play your second stringers, even if they're talented, you lose a little bit, I think, in terms of chemistry.
Arsenal are third favourites to win the Champions League if you fancy to flutter right now. Interesting that PSG and Barcelona are still joint favourites considering what we witnessed earlier on today. Liverpool, of course, losing against Galatasaray 3-2. Bayern Munich 9-1. A lot of those teams, of course, there's a lot of work to be done with a lot of those sides, including Arsenal, of course, but I don't think...
Where are you going with this?
I don't know. They want me to ask who's going to...
You're looking at this graphic. I think just get that graphic and kick it into the trash can. It's so far away.
Right.
You know, winning this thing is months and months away. And we talked about this the other day. We saw how the worm can turn for a team like it turned for PSG, who had a really difficult and unconvincing start to the Champions League last year, and then hit the straps around about the turn of the year and were by far the best team in Europe come the end of it. So, you know, a lot of teams are trying to figure stuff out, particularly like, say, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, who were defeated yesterday. So, you know, to be honest with you, there's a few teams we shouldn't even bother putting on that list. But I wouldn't be putting any money on Arsenal to win this competition.
Not good enough as City drop points away from home. Frank Leboeuf is still with us. Frank, take us through this one.
Well, I don't want Craig to be too much excited by League One clubs, That was a clear robbery from Monaco. That was a real robbery. I mean, no way that they deserved to even get a draw, but they fought until the end. And maybe City... second half got a little bit sloppy. I want to talk about Haaland. Haaland touched 7 balls in the first half, had 2 shots in goal, 2 goals. That says a lot about the guy and the fact that he's a real finisher and a game changer. That's simply amazing what he did. And it's sad for Manchester City that they didn't try much or more because they would have won that game very much easily and didn't do enough. And it's life, It's hard to say on the penalty because we don't have a clear image if I think it's Nico Gonzalez who do the high foot. I never seen that he touched Dyer's head. That's not clear for me. So I can't say it is or it is not a penalty. Maybe players will know better. But anyway, City should have won that game. Didn't do what they had to do to get the 3 points. And Monaco got something special tonight with 1 point.
It doesn't really matter though. It's, you know, the contact is somewhat
irrelevant. He had grass on his head, didn't he? He kept pointing to the grass.
The contact is somewhat irrelevant. It's the dangerous aspect of the play, which affected. Was it Dyer that went for the header?
Yes.
Which affected Dyer's ability to make the header because the boot was in the face. So the kind of touch. For those that saw the Chelsea game yesterday. João Pedro come off the bench. He got sent off for a second booking for something similar. The boot was up near the face. There were really might not even any contact, but it was a second booking. So as soon as, and we did see that with contact from Arda Güler at the weekend in the Madrid derby. So you raise your boot in the box like that, not as an attacker. It seems fine if you're an attacker. I don't know why the rules are different. But if you, as a defending player, raise your boot that high near a head, be sure, even if there's no contact, if somebody's in the vicinity, you're going to be punished for it.
And Haaland, obviously, making a statement again, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so, well, shocker. Erling Haaland's going to score goals.
Yeah.
But also shocker, after the match, not happy with the outcome of this game. And it's not the first time, and I think it won't be the last time this season that we'll hear Erling Haaland talking about, look, how much more can I do? Because if I touch the ball 7 times in the first half... Do you think
he's going to leave City?
What?
So you're suggesting he's going to go to a bigger club?
Well, you're taking quite a leap there.
Well, I'm trying to fill some time on this segment.
Well, I've got news for you. We really don't need to fill time on this segment.
All I'm saying is that if you're a player like Erling Haaland and you feel like you're doing your job, but you're still not getting the results that you think...
You're going to leave.
Wow. Not yet, Dan. He's not leaving just yet, regardless of whether we need to fill this segment or not.